Welcome to the Dr. Warren Gage podcast. Who are the Nephilim in the story of Noah's flood? Scholars and conspiracy theorists alike have debated the question for centuries. In today's lesson, Dr. Warren Gage gives you the biblical answer, free from all the wild theories and sensationalism.
Who are the Nephilim? That's a big question, apparently, today again, and so I want to make a comment about it without entering into the entire debate. The word itself, in some versions, is not translated. It's literally transliterated. They take the Hebrew, which is Nephilim, and they spell it out in English letters. Other versions will use the word giants. The word itself comes from the Hebrew word naphal, which means to fall. To fall upon is one way of looking at it, like a bandit would fall upon people. These are clearly, they're described as giants in numbers, and so we can take it that they have enormous size and that they are the kind of creatures who could fall upon us. If we're left defenseless of some sort, they tend to prey upon people. I think all of that is reasonable. The first mention of them is in Genesis 6, verse 4. And there were giants on the earth, this version says, in those days. The Nephilim, the fallen ones, were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men. I don't know what that distinction would mean. It says, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. So the question then becomes, who are these mighty men of old, men of renown? I think in the context, I would point to someone like Lamech, the ungodly Lamech, who sings to his two wives. God gives Adam one wife, he's going to have two, and he's going to have vengeance. If Cain is avenged sevenfold, he's going to avenge 77-fold, or 70 times 7. Clearly a man notorious for his cruelty. That seems to me contextually to be to fulfill what is signified by the Nephilim. But I think that there's no question that Lamech is born of human parents. I think that too can be determined pretty well. So anyway, he's in the ungodly line, certainly, but I don't see that there's any notation about miscegenation of angels and men, and I just frankly can't find that in the text of Scripture. The next mention of Nephilim, I think, is significant. And I think the appearance of the Nephilim is significant, too. In Numbers 13:33, the spies of Joshua that went into the land of Canaan to spy it out found the Nephilim in the land. They're compared to the sons of Anak, who were giants. So it seems to be people of enormous stature, the kind of heroes we find in heroic literature that do outsized kinds of deeds. But I don't see that there's any context in understanding the conquest of Israel of Canaan to say that these Nephilim that appear in the land there and were recognized and identified with the Nephilim in Genesis had anything to do with angels coming and intermarrying with human women. Seems to be nothing of the sort. And I think that's a tremendous impediment to any kind of exaggerated understanding of who the Nephilim are in Genesis. And again, I think another couple of times that the Nephilim you would expect to find them mentioned in the Bible, when Jesus says in the Olivet Discourse that the days will be like the days of Noah. Well, a big part of that is the appearance of these Nephilim, as we know. In the context of Matthew 24:37, there's a dual fulfillment, because the days of Noah will occur in Jerusalem in the days of vengeance. It will be like the flood that Daniel prophesied in chapter 9, when the Romans come in and destroy the city. So the judgment of AD 70 is like the days of Noah. And nothing in Scripture foretells this invasion of angels particularly. Certainly there were demons at work, but there's nothing that says that there's anything other than human beings that are involved in that particular judgment. And by secondary fulfillment, the destruction of Jerusalem anticipates the end of the world, the end of the age. I think we can take that verse to apply to the end of our age too, that at the end of this age, the days of Noah will once again be on the earth. And if I take that at full value, that means that the Nephilim must invade again. And I can certainly see that in terms of heroic and an anti-heroic sense, these heroes of violence and wickedness. The earth will be filled with violence, Paul told us that, and ungodly men. But I see nothing that suggests that angels will leave their first estate and marry into the human family and have strange offspring. So I think in light of those biblical contexts, I find it impossible for me to defend the position that angels represent a hybrid of the sons of God and the daughters of men, as is alleged often. So the question that remains then is, who are the sons of God that have been suggested as representing these angelic human hybrids? I think in the context it's very clear. God himself says that the end of all flesh has come before him. He doesn't say strange flesh. The end of all basar, human flesh, when he's announcing the judgment of the days of Noah, the end of all flesh has come before him, and he's going to destroy everything. And in the context, it seems that the quarrel between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent is to be worked out in the human family, namely that the sons of God are, as we should take them, not angels, and they can be taken that way, but not in the context. In the context, I think it's taken as the sons of Seth, the ones who were affiliated with the covenant of God, most notably in the line of Enoch and the godly Lamech and Noah. And so it's a human family, and then they intermarried with the apostate family, the other Cain and the other sons of Adam and Eve that were not part of the faithful community, and that the mothers then apostatized the race and raised ungodly children, and so faith disappeared from the earth except for the house and the family and the faith of Noah. And so the whole world was a world of tares, with only one stalk of wheat, and God's eye of grace was able to single him out and save him. But it seems to me that clearly in the context, the sons of God are the ones who had maintained their covenant faithfulness in believing in the hope of the seed of the woman that was to come. And the ungodly seed were those who had defected from that understanding or apostatized from it, which makes even greater sense. So I see nothing in the context of early Genesis to see that the flood was anything other than God's response to the abominations of human sin.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Warren Gage podcast. If you enjoyed this message, please be sure to like and subscribe to one of our channels so that you never miss an episode. We'd appreciate it if you could also leave us a review. You can find us on drwarrengage.com, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. To support the podcast and gain access to exclusive offers and content from Dr. Warren Gage, please visit our Patreon account at patreon.com/Dr. Warren Gage. We hope you join us next time on the Dr. Warren Gage podcast.